Hi, everyone.
And you're on.
We're good. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Cupixel Studio and welcome to our DIY ornament session with Learn with Michaels. My name is Haley. And I'm super excited to be here. As you can see, I've made many ornaments. I don't know, Matt, if you want to show them these guys too. So there's so many different things that you can do to customize your ornament. What we're going to go over today is quite literally just the tip of the iceberg. So the purpose of this is to, of course, show you how it works, how you can create a custom ornament with Smart Trace technology, and to inspire, your own creative ideas. So if you haven't already, feel free to download the Cupixel app. And when you open the app, you can enter this promo code right here, MKSCLAS1, and you will get 2 weeks free on the app. So I am joined by the lovely Matt on the cameras.
Hello, everybody.
And I am also joined by Shirley, who is here monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions for me specifically, she'll shout them out and let me know, and I'll be able to answer to the best of my ability. Please hold. I'm so sorry. My mouth is a little dry. I'm sorry. I usually never bring a water in the studio, and I'm really glad that I did. I need it. Okay, so am I missing anything? The device stand. Yes, thank you, Shirley. So I'll go over materials now, and I'll start with this guy here. I have my Cupixel device stand ready to go. This is going to make your Smart Trace experience so much better, so much easier. So if you don't have that, if you did not purchase that for this class, you will, hold on 1 second. The nature of the live, everybody. If you stick with your membership, hello, there it is. If you stick with your membership after the 2-week trial, we will send you a device stand for free. However, if you purchase your device stand, then you'll get an additional 2 weeks for free trial. So that is out of the way. Shirley, I got that, right? Okay. Yeah, you got there eventually. A little rusty, I guess, excuse me. So in addition to the device stand, I've of course got my ornament template here. Any ornament template would work just fine. Of course, something large enough for you to easily trace on and paint on. But any wooden ornament template from Michaels, they have so many. All of these here are from Michaels. So any ornament template, wood is what I'm working on. Wood I find works best with these kinds of materials. And this one's already got, a nice white coat of paint on there. So if you have just like a fresh wood ornament, something to be mindful of if you are going to be using paint markers along with me, you might want to kind of go in with, a coat of paint underneath to avoid any, bleeding, any of the paint markers kind of bleeding into the wood. In addition, you'll need a pencil and an eraser for tracing. I always love to have just a couple of paint brushes close by when I'm using paint markers, just in case I want to get some fine details. And last but not least, I have a piece of paper underneath my ornament. So this is going to activate the Smart Trace. So I am working on a white table. So I have a white paper with a dark border, and that is going to assist with the phone recognizing my paper as the surface I'm going to be tracing on. So we'll get into that in just a second. But if you have the app open, you can see here on the main feed at the bottom, you'll see a little plus sign for My Studio. That is where we're going to be working today. And I know we have a pretty brief class today, 30 minutes, more or less. It's not a hard stop. But if you wanted a refresher, of course, tomorrow, this will be live on YouTube. But this experience right here, DIY holiday ornaments, more or less the same thing, except you have if you ask me, a better experience because you're graced with my presence live and in real time. I'm just kidding. But I do have a question for you all. I'm very curious to know if you've ever made, like, handmade a gift for somebody, or if somebody has ever handmade a gift for you. And if so, what was it? And if you've gotten more than one gift, or if you've made more than one gift, what was your favorite? I'm very curious to know, because customizing anything with Smart Trace and the device stand is a breeze. So this will hopefully open up a lot of doors for you, inspire you to create some more things in addition to ornaments, and so on after the holiday season has passed. So also let me know what your holiday plans are in the chat. Shirley will shout it out. Okay, so at the bottom of the screen, again, plus sign for My Studio. We're going to tap that, and we are going to enter. And here at the top, you'll see 3 tabs: Gallery, Photos, and Text. If you go to Gallery, we've included a ton of the holiday-themed imagery and imagery that we used in the on-demand ornament experience here at the top. So, like I said, everyone, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We'll stick with these today and maybe use the text editor to customize it just a little bit more. But you could also upload a photo. I've seen a lot of pet portrait ornaments. That is such a great gift. Even portrait ornaments, right? The ultimate customization. So if we're all ready, we can jump right in and I can show you how Smart Trace works on this. Ready to go? All right, we're good to go. So I have this one here, the name customization with the snowflake frame, and I just love it, and I have to do it again. So I'm going to select the frame first, this one right here. When I get that green check mark, I know I'm good to head to Trace. So I'll go to Start. And 1 second. So sorry. Okay. So as you can see, if I move the ornament out of the way, what the app is finding is my paper. And that is why this dark border helps, because on my white table, the phone would not be able to recognize my paper because there wouldn't be a contrast between my table and my paper. So that black border helps the app recognize 4 corners of your paper with Smart Trace on. Tap the screen, you see that little icon. So what Smart Trace does is it detects your surface and it tracks it. So if anything moves, it'll just realign, and it also aligns everything to be proportionate. So you see your phone's at an angle here on the stand. It is superimposing your image at an angle to be precise and accurate to the original. So
2 things. If
yes.
you don't have a frame paper, what do you do? And mention that you press this Smart Trace on.
Yeah, so thank you, Shirley. So to reiterate, Smart Trace on, that icon at the top left of your screen, you'll see like a blue-green color, and just make sure that all 4 corners of your paper are visible in frame of your camera. As long as you have that, the app should be able to find your paper and just project your image right onto it. Whatever you chose to trace should be kind of, if you look through your screen, superimposed right onto it. And if you don't have a bordered paper, this is totally not necessary, by the way. This is a paper from our greeting card set. Again, totally not necessary. But the reason I have this is for the white table. If you're working on a white table as well, and you have just a white paper, grab a darker piece of paper. It doesn't have to be black. It can be gray. It can be even like a darker white, just to create a contrast between your table and your paper. Hope that answers your questions. And if anything else, I think we can jump right in. So you have the transparency bar here to adjust the opacity of your image so you can see both the lines on your screen and the lines that you're going to be drawing if you leave it about halfway up. I'm going to bring my ornament back in, center it in my paper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the drag feature to scale my image and position it right onto my ornament. So it helps as you're tracing to kind of hold your ornament nice and steady. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and drag it kind of Yep. Yep. So if you tap drag, I'll try to reset. Okay. Tap drag, you'll see that it turns purple and the border turns purple as well. That's how you know that you're on drag. So when you pinch like this, the image will shrink. If you pinch out, it'll expand. And then you can just kind of move it around wherever you'd like. So I just want to make sure it's more or less centered, but also large enough so I have enough room to write something in that center part. Looking good. All right. So you definitely don't have to be that technical, but now that drag is off, when I pinch the screen, I'm zooming in. I like to just make sure that that center top part of the snowflake is at the center top part of my ornament template. All right, we're good to go. Now I'm just going to hold my ornament steady and slowly start tracing. Pinch to zoom in. Just going to take it nice and slow. So also, if you aren't creating along with me in real time, that's totally fine. You want to come back to this, after you know how it works, after you get situated, after you get your device stand, maybe. All of these images will also remain in the gallery under the My Studio tab, throughout the holiday season. So you can, receive guidance from me on demand in that DIY holiday ornament experience. You could go back to YouTube and watch this, class replay tomorrow, or take notes, or just, take a mental note of how it works and head back to My Studio and use the images that we're using here. I'm just slowly taking my time tracing the snowflake border, frame, whatever. You don't have to be as, meticulous with it. You can do just like, one line. I'm tracing like the edge of the lines because they're a little bit thick. Also just want to make sure that everything is centered and balanced. But it doesn't need to be perfect. Please keep in mind that this is quite literally my job, right? So, and even still, it's not perfect. So if this is your first time tracing or using Smart Trace, it's a bit of a learning curve. You're going to want to peek behind your phone. I advise you to try not to. It's like when you go to college. So funny. It's like when you go to college as a freshman and you get homesick and they advise you to not go home for the first month. That's the analogy I'm going for here with Smart Trace. Try not to peek behind your phone. Slight learning curve, but you'll overcome it very quick, and you can get the hang of this very, very quick. Yes, thank you, Shirley. If you have any technical issues, so if you have a question that one of us could answer right now, great. But if you're experiencing any technical issues for whatever reason, you see that question mark icon at the top right of your screen, go ahead and tap that and you will be in contact with our support team. Real people, that's important to mention, right? Real people helping you out whenever we can. But I know that we've got people monitoring the support right now just for you. So if you need anything that we can't address at this very moment, go ahead and take advantage of the support. But yeah, what I was saying about tracing, it doesn't need to be perfect.
We have someone
Yeah.
that needs to the beginning and don't know where to find the Smart Trace.
Okay, someone came in. Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for joining. So, Jessica, you caught me at a good time. I can take a pause right there. So, I'm going to exit out of this. Oh, look at that. We got a time lapse. This is like one of my favorite things. Anytime you trace, if you're using Smart Trace, the second the phone finds your paper and superimposes your image onto it, the phone starts recording a little time lapse, and you can open it and save it. I'll go to that later. Okay, so this is the main feed, Jessica. When you open the app, after you enter your promo code, so you get access to everything for 2 weeks, promo code's right here. This is what you'll see on the main feed. What we're doing and how we're creating today is we're going to use My Studio. So this tab at the bottom in the center with the plus sign icon, tap that, and you will see 3 tabs at the top of your screen. So gallery, photos, and text. What I'm using is some gallery images for now, and I selected this one here. So once you've selected what you want to trace, you can press start and the camera will open. And again, I don't know if you missed this, but with Smart Trace on, that icon at the top left of your screen, if it's a blue-green color, you know it's on, and your phone on the stand. And my paper with a contrast allows the phone to recognize my paper. All 4 corners are visible, right? So that means the phone was able to find my paper and superimpose my image right onto it. And I'm so glad that I showed you that, because look at this. This is like one of my favorite things. It just makes everything a breeze. So if you are in the middle of customizing an ornament, or you're doing something and something happens, you get a phone call, or, you got to go pick your kid up from school, I don't know. You're interrupted. You have to step away for a minute. It will go back to where it was. So you don't have to reposition the artwork with drag, which, by the way, Jessica, tap, drag, and you can pinch the screen to shrink and pinch out to enlarge, and then just kind of move your image around. So I just placed my ornament right on top of my paper once my phone found it, and use the drag to position it on the ornament where I wanted. That was pretty quick and dirty, so I hope you're all set. And if not, please let me know. I'm happy to repeat anything. So I'm going to pinch my screen again, zoom back in, and finish tracing my snowflake. I'm halfway through. Then after this, I'm going to put some text in that center part. And I did this before. I did this the last Michael's class we had, which was Thanksgiving name cards, like table placement cards. I asked someone in the chat to just, shout out their name. If anyone wants their name written on an ornament, I'm happy to do so. First person that Shirley shouts out to me, I'm using your name. Not all at once, you guys. I'm kidding. What is it, Shirley? No?
Name.
Nancy. Hello, Nancy. Thanks for joining. I will be using your name. Thank you very much. And if you'd like, send this your way afterwards, because luckily for you,
Christmas is her birthday.
oh my gosh, we have to send this to you, Nancy. We have to send this to you. Reach out to support, please, and just say that I sent you there. Give them your email, and I'm sending you this ornament when it's done. Okay? Because luckily for you, I don't know a Nancy. I do now, but I didn't know a Nancy. Didn't have a Nancy to gift this Nancy ornament to. So Nancy, Merry Christmas and happy birthday. This is yours, my friend. Let me know what color you'd like. I gotta do metallic, okay? I have some metallic paint markers. I love metallic, as you can see. So let me know, silver or gold, and then what color do you want in the snowflake? Let me know. This is for you. Okay. We're moving along. Curious what your experience, Nancy, I'm just picking on you. What your experience, what?
Golden pink.
Gold and pink. Oh my God, I love you. I love you. I love pink. Say less, Nancy. But I'm curious, Nancy. Let me know, what's your experience sharing, your birthday with Christmas? My boyfriend, his birthday is 2 days after Christmas, and he's always had mixed feelings about it. I would just personally treat it like everyone is celebrating my birthday. So everyone, even if Christmas is not your holiday, if you live in America, I'm sure, you celebrate it to an extent. Everyone in America is celebrating your birthday, Nancy. That's how I would look at it. Not too bad. There are definitely worse people to share a birthday with. That is for sure. I share a birthday with David Hasselhoff. So beat that. Nancy already did. So funny. Matt, Shirley, do you know if you share a birthday with anyone? Wait, Matt, you share a birthday with a holiday as well, right?
No, I share a birthday with Michael Jordan though.
Oh,
Yeah.
So is it a D that is born on Valentine's Day? It must be a
Yeah, I
D.
think
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Michael Jordan. Nice.
Yep, that's a solid one.
That is a
Always liked
solid
that.
one. Matt shares a birthday with Michael Jordan. Shirley, how about you?
I don't know.
You don't know? Gotta be someone out there. Your claim to fame. Yeah, mine's David Hasselhoff. So it's a great one. Are you kidding me? Okay, friends, I am done tracing my snowflake frame. We're looking good. So as you can see, I moved my ornament a little bit, and things did not realign because, again, the app recognized my paper as my drawing surface, not my ornament. So if anything happens where something is misaligned, you can, again, use the drag feature, but I think it's a lot easier to just kind of move around your ornament. But doesn't matter because I'm done with my snowflake anyways. So I'm going to go back to artwork, and I'm going to go to text, and I am going to write Nancy's name. I'm assuming it's Nancy. Okay, Nancy. I'm going to look through the fonts, and I'm just based on what I'm hearing from you, Nancy, I'm going to pick a font that I think I love that one. That's a fancy font, Fancy Nancy. Okay. Might go back to that one. That one's nice too. I got to go back to my OG. Okay. Where is she? Nancy. Love it. Okay. So when I'm happy with the font, tap done, go back to trace, and you see that green check mark. And again, app is recognizing my paper because all four corners are visible with that dark contrast against my white table. I'll tap drag, and I'm going to just position, make sure my ornament's nice and centered. Tap drag and position Nancy right there in the center of my little frame here. Maybe I'll do lowercase n just because I want it to be a little bit more, get more room. I'm going to do that. We'll see how it looks. Edit. What do you guys think? I do too. Okay. We'll make it work. Okay. So shrink, drag, position. That's good. I'll have to be very careful with my metallic, but that is okay. Gold and pink, right? Yeah. I love it. That is an all-star combination of colors. I love it. Okay. looks centered more or less to me. All right. Good to go. Zoom in. Actually, I think I can move it just a little bit more. Huh. Yeah, okay, cool. And also, yeah, I was saying earlier when I was tracing, I just started tracing the snowflake. Perfection does not exist, okay? So even though you're tracing, you're following the lines that you're seeing, you will be here for eternity if you try to make it absolutely perfect. Because the level of like precision here with the tracing technology is like, it's so accurate. And you know, if you ask me, you don't want something that looks printed, right? You want something that looks like you made it. Of course, we all want our creations to look beautiful. But, you know, it adds character and it just makes it that much more meaningful. So even if, you know, if you're personalizing your tree this year, or if that's your goal, you know, you want to make your Christmas tree a little bit more personalized and meaningful. Or if you are looking for, you know, gift ideas, this is always, literally can't go wrong with this as like a Christmas or a holiday gift. And just a nice activity to enjoy, of course, solo, but with family to get everyone in the holiday spirit. You know, if you all decorate together, why not make some ornaments together, right? A date night idea. Speaking from experience, it's a lot of fun. I had my boyfriend try it out with me. He really enjoyed. He is not artistic in the slightest. No offense, Tyler. But he really enjoyed it. And we really enjoyed it together. So, Nancy, you're looking good. I'm done with tracing now. So I got my frame, I've got my text, it's customized, it's personalized. I am ready to put my device to the side. And at this point, you know, if you were done tracing in a artist-led experience, which, hello, that would be me and many of our other amazing artists guiding you through everything from tracing to what comes after tracing. You can just kind of keep your phone to the side, go back to the studio tab, which in this case, we don't have to talk about it. Follow along with the artist with your phone right here. So in this case, putting my phone to the side. And Matt, do you want me to bring this closer or work from here? Because I can, yeah, okay. I've only taped my paper so that you can, you know, nothing moves for you. Is that good? Okay. So Nancy, let's start painting. I'll start with your name in the center so I don't rest my hand on any wet paint. But like I said earlier, and as you might expect, I'm using some paint markers. You can definitely use just acrylic paint and a small, tiny brush. That's actually what I did with this snowflake. You can, you know, as long as you're patient and you breathe, you can get some nice thin lines with a thin brush. But my paint marker should be activated. It is. So I'm just going to follow what I see. And of course, at this point, you can take some time to clean up any lines if you feel like that's necessary. But we have our foundation done with pencil, super quick and easy. If I wasn't talking, I would have been done with this in 5 minutes, no joke. And if I'm not speaking, it's because I'm concentrating on getting a nice thin line. It helps that I have a nice pointed metallic marker. Shirley, anyone mention about their homemade gifts?
No.
No. Well, if that's because you've never made a handmade gift, or if you've never received a handmade gift, that's going to change today. All right. But is anyone do
Maybe keepsake boxes is good.
Elizabeth made keepsake boxes as gifts or received?
Maybe.
So cool. What did you do? Like, did you take like just any ordinary box and yes, so these markers are from Arteza. I'm positive that, yeah, Arteza products can be found on Michael's online, but any paint marker, really any paint marker. The Craft Smart ones that I listed, those are great too. I would say something, especially if you're doing text, something that has a nice fine point. The Craft Smart markers, say that 10 times fast. Those have a nice fine point. So you should be able to get both broad strokes of color and thin, precise details as well. I'm just going over some areas. It's a very metallic gold. Not sure if you can see it on camera, Matt, but it's very shiny here. Yeah. All right. So you might notice that if you rest your hand on your pencil marks, you'll smudge a little bit, and that is okay. Once your paint is dry, you can definitely go around and clean up any areas if you have any smudging. But I'm going to go in with, oh my gosh, I didn't come prepared with a pink. Oh no. Okay, so let's act quickly, you guys. What do we do here? Do I switch gears and do paint, or run out and grab a pink marker?
Do we have pink?
Not in front of me. Yeah, we have a nope. Nope. I did not bring the pink marker. Shirley.
You want pink color? Red is fine. Anything
Red is
but-
fine. Red and orange.
Anything but orange.
Anything but orange. I love it.
Purple, anything. but
Purple.
orange.
Let's do purple. Let's do some purple. Or let's do this raspberry red. Okay. Nancy, I appreciate you. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a nice, actually, that's close to pink, right? This is a nice thing about having a paper underneath for Smart Trace. You can just use it as your scrap or your swatching paper. So now I'm just going to turn this around, and I'm going to take my time going over my lines here. And I don't have a super thin applicator with this, but if you are in the same boat as me, you can kind of use it at an angle.
The Judy said every Christmas I do handmade gifts, 3 hand-painted lazy Susans for show with them.
Crochet what? Bags?
Headband.
Headbands. Oh my gosh. Who is this?
Judy.
Judy? Judy, I want to be your friend. Oh, that is so fun. Crochet headbands? Wow. Was it hand-painted Lazy Susan too? That's cool. So cool. The keepsake boxes are really cool too.
Elizabeth said that she also made keepsake boxes for baby showers. Place the
What?
silver spoon as a handle.
Wow. I can imagine. Wow, that is so cool. I love asking these questions in the Learn with Michael's classes because we've got such a crafty group every time. You guys blow me away. I'm just being nice and careful. And again, we're not going to worry about making it absolutely perfect, at least for now. Now that I know that this is going to my friend Nancy, I'll probably go back in and clean this up a little bit. Let it dry after one little run through. And then I'll take a white paint marker or just white paint and a tiny brush just clean up any edges I'll need to. How are we liking the color, Nancy? Is this good? I could switch gears on the bottom half if you'd like. But now that I hear got quite a few handmade gift givers, if you plan on doing more handmade gifts this year, and if so, what? And if it's a handmade ornament, you'll make my day, even if you're lying. What?
No, the red and the orange, the gold.
Gold, yeah. It does. And I like this. This is like a nice, I think this is a raspberry red. And it shows.
Anything you do is great, really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. Okay. Even after you paint, which by the way, you can do all one color. This is quite literally, like I said, the point of this is to just show you how it works, show you what you can do, and hopefully inspire your own ideas, right? But you can add glitter, right? You can add gems. You can really have fun with it. I wouldn't have made so many if I didn't have fun with it. And I'm probably going to make more for myself, you know?
I love the little puppy in the box.
Oh, I know. It's classic, right?
So good.
The outline is there.
The outline is there. Yes. So
And eventually it is.
yeah, if not, it's definitely in the DIY. It is. I know for a fact it is in the gallery in my studio. Yeah, everything that you're seeing in these ornament examples, you should find it in the gallery. And if not, reach out to support, let us know, and we'll put it in there. But I'm well on my way to finishing this ornament. I know we went a little bit over the half an hour, but that is okay. So at this point, I just want to give everyone a heads up that if you have any questions for me or Shirley or Matt even, or each other, let us all know now or in the next few minutes. Yeah, I think honestly, if I wasn't taking my time, enjoying, you know, everyone's company, if I wasn't speaking to you all and asking you questions, I'd be done with this ornament in 15 minutes. No joke. And that, you know, that might have a little bit to do with the fact that I've made so many and that this is my job. But it's really that simple. I think if you make a few, you know, if you make, you know, your first one might take you 20, 30 minutes, depending on what you're doing, maybe an hour. Like I said, depends on what you're doing, what you're tracing, what you're painting, how detailed you're making it, how much you're adding to it, all that good stuff. You know, your first one might take you 30, 40 minutes. Your next one might take you 20, 30 minutes, 15, 20. Who knows? Maybe the next one I make, it'll take me less than 5. I don't know. But my friends, Nancy, here's your ornament. I'll clean it up a little bit and I'll probably go over with another layer. And you know what? Just for you, maybe I'll add in a little bit of pink because I'll be able to get some after this. Apologies. But I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy exploring the app and all the other holiday themed experiences that we have. I'm sure you'll see me on the app and you'll see me in more Learn with Michael's classes as well. Any other questions, Shirley?
No.
No? Okay, well, as always, you can reach out to support on the app by tapping that question mark icon at the top right of your screen. If you need anything, you can always shoot me an email as well. If you have a specific question for me, Shirley too, regarding, content, if you want to see certain classes or experiences on the app, certain subject matters, technical questions, tips, tricks, whatever, you name it, you can always reach out to us. I'm happy to be in touch. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season and a happy, happy new year. And we'll see you very soon. Bye.